Hi, I'm Matty D on the MacDaddyMatty channel. This is my frank and unfiltered review of the Doki Doki Literature Club mod, Monika Before Story, and I have been looking forward for weeks to getting my schedule clear so I can play this mod. Seriously, this is the first thing you see.
What the fuck?
And the choice you make does change things in the mod. Look, if I fuck up and get punished for it, then fine, that's on me. I deserve it, right? If I'm driving too fast and I get a speeding ticket, okay, I did that to myself. If I'm playing World of Tanks and I YOLO and I get myself deleted, yeah, I was stupid. Me, I did that. And I deserve the garage hate from all my teammates for being stupid. If I drink tequila and wake up in Mexico wondering where my pants are,
Again.
yeah, my bad.
Again.
Me, I did that. But when the fickle hand of fate drops a space rock on me for LOLs, or when a game just randomly screws with me, without adding value to the story, no bueno.
This mod will be the death of me.
Spoilers and yada yada yada. Seriously, it's arbitrary. What are we supposed to do with this? Monika Before Story is really two totally different mods bundled into one. It would even be fair to say 3 mods depending on how you consider it. So there's a lot to unpack here. So before I break down the several mods bundled into one thing, let me say this. There are some really excellent ideas here, and scenes that utterly blew me away, including one of the best moments I have played in any mod to date. I can't wait to tell you about that in a bit. You're going to hear me absolutely gush with affection and adoration over parts of Monika Before Story. But it's not an easy mod to play. There's a lack of clarity all over this mod, much of which seems intentionally vague, and is unfortunately presented in a manner that the audience can dismiss as poor editing or worse, bad writing. And I don't think the writing's bad, not at all. But there are also moments that utterly blew, and you'll hear about those also. Before I pick any nits, it's important to understand. Monika Before Story is worthwhile for some really sweet scenes, beautiful backgrounds, great music, unique sprites, and some very clever writing. In fact, with some scene rewrites, proper editing, and focused direction, Monika Before Story's dark half could easily have been named Doki Doki Literature Club Part 2, because it adroitly adopts the spirit and soul of Doki Doki Literature Club. Regrettably at times, Monika Before Story is the child of its abusive parent and never really gets away from it. If I seem to be ping-ponging on opinion here, there's a reason for that. Instead of an appetizer, main course, and dessert, Monika Before Story is all those things partly mixed together throughout, which is hard to discuss in this format, as the audience gets a near constant combination of undelineated and contrasting flavors. As the psychological drama-ish horror-esque dark half, with some editing, hell yeah! As the lighthearted dating simulator light half, yuck. Now that doesn't mean I don't recommend Monika Before Story. I made a video about it, that means I'm recommending it. But it's complicated. If you enjoy being off balance and the near constant but undefinable feelings of foreboding and intrigue with your romance, and if you are a serious masochist, you will love Monika Before Story. Strap on your ball gag and nipple clamps and press play. Then get ready to press play again. A lot. Because the mod is going to make you restart it over and over and over again.
I've had relationships like this.
Also, the mod will have you playing through its fairly revamped Act 1 many times. Now, having to restart the game often may not seem like much of a chore, but consider you'll be restarting it 2 or 3 times per path or more, and there are many paths. And for a new path, you'll be deleting the first run file and other file manipulation you're required to do. And it starts to feel like work. Add to that, the default Doki Doki Literature Club game music volume is too loud on my rig, and the mod won't let you get to the options menu right away to turn it down when you restart. It's an annoyance. Also remember that every time you delete the first run file, the game now doesn't let you skip previously seen text. That means you're going to be going through all of Act 1 and Festival one spacebar at a time, many times, and more if you don't make the right choices.
Is there a right choice? I've had relationships like this.
Or if you want to replay parts of a path once you finish the path because you get locked out and have to start again from scratch. Add to this that at least once it fucks with your saves, this is a huge time investment to replay the same dialogue again and again and again. Sure, you can skip unseen text and burn through Act 1 that way, but remember that will skip unseen dialogue, and so you will, inevitably, miss something important in the story. Yeah, there's a lot of screwing with the player in this mod, but not in the, are you comfortable? Are you having a good time? Relaxed in the immersion? That's good. Because here comes the M. Night Shyamalan canon Doki Doki Literature Club twist on your ass type fucking with you. Which there is some of, but mostly it's more like a sibling that won't stop licking their finger and then touching you fucking with you.
Why? Why? Why?
Having said all that, I still recommend Monika Before Story. There's some delicious bits that are worth the work. Remember, Monika Before Story is really 3 different mods. We'll go with 2. And you can play it the normal way and still have a good experience, even if you only play one path to your favorite Doki. So, 2 different mods. The first is a normalish dating simulator where you pick a Doki and court her. If you hit play and do nothing else, you will be playing the normal mode. Go do that. Then come back and explore Monika Before Story as its second mod. A drama with often surreal and psychological undertones of disconnect, which require you screwing with the game files to access. And different ways you screw with them will have different outcomes. The second version is a mindfuck. Maybe not mind fuck, but maybe more a mind third base, a mind dry hump. Anyway, like a drunken lap dance from your sister, you'll enjoy it, but feel dirty afterwards. And it certainly won't be calling you the next day like it promised. So I'm just going to come out and say this right now. The biggest obstacle to really enjoying Monika Before Story is Monika Before Story. As the way it's bundled, both versions overlap. The sweet cherry cream pie of the dating simulator mixing with the mustardy sausage and onion sandwich of the psychological drama. These flavors independently, delicious. However, they are not flavors that work well together, the sausage curdling the cream as they mesh in awkward, shambolic, and confusing ways, where the romance derails the mystery, or the clandestine diminishes the sentimental. Each of these diametrically opposed emotions sabotage the other, detracts from the really great stuff that Monika Before Story has to offer. By not delineating the Monika Before Story parts as either a cute dating simulator or as an incipient psychological horror, both parts try to be both, and oftentimes end up as neither. And as an audience, we're often left chasing ghosts.
I've had relationships like this.
So let's try to pick it apart and look at Monika Before Story as 2 separate mods, which is tough because the light and the dark share a lot of samey. So forgive me in advance, I'm going to be jumping around quite a bit in this review. Now, the Monika Before Story normalish dating simulator. I really enjoyed the normal paths, for the most part, at least when the mod let me play it and wasn't forcing me to restart it, or constantly reminding me that all is not well in Doki Town. The mod reinvents the Doki Doki Literature Club universe, in so much as you, the main character, are president of the Literature Club, not Monika. Monika is your childhood friend, not Sayori. Sayori is a classmate that you have some history with, but the details are muddy. More on that in a bit. So, main character is the president. We are the president. Wait, I started to feel guilty about pursuing a Doki. I mean, ethically, was it fair as a president to use my position of power to woo a member of my club? But not dwelling too deeply on that, I decided my first run through I should pursue Monika. The mod is named after her after all. And between us girls, my favorite part of playing any mod is exploring one with a Monika path, as each author has their own unique take on what her path should be like. And Monika Before Story does not disappoint. Brute forcing my way through the Act 1's mind teabag and getting to the festival prep with Monika was where the mod really took off for me. The Act 1 cutscenes with her are nice, as is the Saturday festival prep scene, but the date we get to have with her on Sunday is spectacular. Really lovely. We get to have a perfect date with Monika at a chocolate shop, and it's everything I could have hoped for. It actually felt like Monika Before Story flipped a switch at that point, as it stops being this grating, disjointed, and perturbing start-stop experience to one of tenderness, placidity, and intimate connection to Monika. We even get to make several choices on the date. We're not just led around by the nose. Choices that are intuitive. I was enjoying it so much I actually stopped playing, made a cup of coffee, grabbed some awesome chocolate truffles I was saving, went back to a saved game, and played the date with this big stupid grin on my puss, as we went scene to scene spending time with our Monika. Through the festival, and all the way up to when she runs from us and we chase and catch her. And thank God our fat ass can catch her, because we sure couldn't when she was running from us with that book in Act 1. Also, our main character is rich, having conveniently just won the lottery.
Won the lottery. Seriously. Won the lottery. Seriously.
You know what? Fuck it. It's fantasy.
Woohoo! Won the lottery!
Won the lottery, won the lottery, now I'm rich, now I'm rich.
I finally relaxed and was really enjoying myself, and really enjoyed being with Monika. Her character throughout Monika Before Story is really well written, believable, complex, and with a depth that made you want to spend time with her. And from the date to just before the end on this path, the mod was delightful, and I thank the developers for this experience. 5 stars and 3 buenos for the Monika date. The Yuri path is also very nice with some memorable moments. It's missing her sudden and unexpected passion. We never get that, holy crap, this is intense moment like in the cannon chocolate and washcloth scenes, but it's still a nice, pleasant experience. Very tender and presented in a manner very respectful of her. Her obsessive hallmarks are nicely explored. It's good. Sayori's date was, for me, disappointing. The setting in the park was amazing, and the activities together ideal for a date with Sayori. But canon makes it pretty clear that Sayori's airheadedness and hyperactivity are a front she uses to hide her crippling depression. Just as in canon Act 1, main character tells Monika that he likes to set people's expectations low, so that when he puts in effort it's more impressive. aggressive, Sayori also sets people's expectations low. But in her case, it's a survival mechanism, so that people won't look too deeply at her and see the real her. Until in her depression confession scene where she shows main character and us the real her. A nuanced and very complicated Sayori that does know exactly what she's doing, only acting scatterbrained and carefree. But in the Monika before story date scene after the depression confession, she reverts to a very convincing dipshit, pretty much as soon as we get to the park. If it's an act, main character should have called her on it, which would have made for a great storyline, and Sayori development as part of her character arc. Because if the Sayori in this universe is just a vapid and flat personality, then the depression confession scene is yet another disjointed break from the universe. Either way, it didn't inspire my creative tummy. Speaking of which, Sayori is on her way to becoming a 300-pound girlfriend with type 2 diabetes the way she's portrayed with the sweets, just saying. Going out with Natsuki? Worst date since October 24th, 79 AD. Too soon? Partly because there's pretty much no personal connection to her at all. During our date, she pretty much completely ignores us in lieu of texting with her friends or engages us in superficial conversation.
I've had relationships like this.
But it's the disconnected and irregular presentation from how she acts in each of the festival prep, the date, and the festival proper that was the most irksome and befuddling. Festival prep Natsuki is canon, who's nicer in the intimate setting of our kitchen than at school, conflicted about falling for main character, and more conflicted about how much of her feelings to let show. Then the Monika before story date Natsuki, who seems unconflicted about us as she doesn't seem to have much feelings for us, or at least nothing that seems serious or substantial, to the Monika before story festival Natsuki, who is unconflicted about us because she does have feelings for us, but suddenly no issue or hesitation with public displays of affection. It's a bit of a rough ride. Now, one of the parts of the mod that really stands out as excellent is the festival scene. All of the paths, the normal routes and the true route, have you play through the festival scene, which is quite beautiful, really well set in atmosphere and tone, and very endearing. At least the first 3 or 4 times you go through it. It has great backgrounds, beautiful soundtrack, happy dokis, and original poems. It is everything that a perfect successful festival should have been. With one exception, the flashback nightmare.
No, sir, I don't like it.
But I should have liked that. It's a good pressure point that shakes up the mood without breaking immersion, and startles the player and then delivers a sense of relief. Good arc, good rush of adrenaline. So why didn't I like it? Let me break flow real quickly and talk about pressure points, good ones and bad ones. This was an otherwise good pressure point. And another otherwise good pressure point is the hurdle the mod throws at us in the poem game. Typical for Act 1, we're given the poem games, and here again the mod lost me as words that seemed exactly for one doki were now attached to another, and some words seemed attached to no one. Seriously, you'd select a word and sometimes there was no chibi reaction, which caused confusion and frustration. But this also should have been really nicely unsettling. The poem pressure points breaking the flow in a good way, but not breaking the immersion. A shift that focuses the audience's mind from the story to the characters. And it's also a great way to add trepidation to the whole courting your doki. You want to get it right. This is work the audience likes, stress that has reward. Together with the Sayori suicide fake-out pressure point, great, but these good pressure points teamed with all the other vague pressure points peppered throughout the mod that distract from the immersion and broke from the game, the work with no reward pressure points, it was just a little too much. We were saturated at this point by the weak and confusing pressure points, and could not appreciate the good anxiety from all the undue confusing anxiety we had already endured. Now more on this in a bit, but the festival is great. I really loved it. A noteworthy and excellent part of the mod. After the festival, each of the dokis have a nice tender scene with main character where we pine about our future as we walk together into the sunset. It's also exceedingly nicely done, as it wraps up not just the path, but also the Monika before story tie-in to the canon Doki Doki Literature Club, and a super sweet moment with each of our special ladies. I lamented on how the normal Monika before story Act 1 felt like a chore, compared to the normal Monika before story Act 2, which honestly felt like a privilege to be a part of. The date with Monika was simply delightful and made me happy. And then the mod kicks you out of the game.
What the fuck?
So you restart the game again, and we're in our house, and there's a note from Monika saying I didn't choose her, which if I had been on the Sayori, Yuri, or Natsuki routes would have made total sense. But wait, no, I did choose Monika, and I bet most of the other people who play the mod the first time also chose Monika. It's her name on the mod, right? Indicative of the mindset, yeah? And then credits.
What the fuck?
Now this is big, pay attention. I get this was the author's way to get me to hunt around and discover that I could replay the mod and find the true ending. But honestly, even though Act 2 had a healthy serving of awesome sauce, I was hesitant to even replay the next Doki normal route because of the work it took to get this far. If Monika's letter at the end of the Monika normal route had, instead of saying you didn't choose me, because we fucking did, thank you very much, instead said, please save me, the game, I can't escape, I would have been super motivated to figure out how to play the mod's true ending and go save her. But having chosen her, having jumped through the hurdles, having had to gird my loins to get to her, and then telling me I didn't choose her, it only reminded me how much this mod hates me. And honestly, I wasn't really motivated to go through this all again. I felt sapped. I felt abused. But I have OCD and nipple clamps, so after a long break, I went back at it. If I hadn't been able to skip unseen text, I'm not sure I would have followed through and kept going, despite the OCD and the clamps. And I still had to do Yuri. I still had to do the Yuri route. And I adore Yuri. I was saving her for last. Hang on to this thought because we're coming back to this one too. So the true and the just routes. Having successfully completed the 4 Doki normal routes, it was time to play Monika Before story the other way. To get to what the mod calls the true ending, and also the additional 3 just endings, as in just Sayori, just Natsuki, just Yuri, you have to mess with the game files. Now Monika Before story true route has one of the greatest moments of any mod I've played to date. I do not say that lightly or without serious contemplation, ensuring I mean these words. One of the best yet. It's short, just a moment. At one point, Monika unexpectedly breaks the 4th wall and says,
"You look so cute when your eyes move left to right like that,"
indicating to us that she's watching us read the game text that's scrolling as we play. She says it at a point where my focus had shifted more to the game text than to the sprites. It was beyond breaking the 4th wall. Absolutely fucking brilliant. It felt like she had popped out of the screen and planted a kiss on my big dumb face. I sat there stunned, my mouth hanging open, my eyes the size of frying pans, a sudden dopamine dump throughout my whole endocrine, and I'm sure my pupils were fully dilated. And as I remembered to breathe again, Monika giggled at what she had just done to me. Holy shit, guys, seriously. I fell in love with her all over again in that moment.
I've had one relationship like this.
It was magical. Kudos and thank you so much for that. So understand how hard it is for me to now say that after finishing the true ending, I liked the normal path better, even though I hated how the normal path ended. I didn't choose her, that's some bullshit right there, I chose her. My biggest problem with the true ending is that the Dokis and the player delete main character because main character was evil, but he never did anything evil in the game at all. Sure, he's a bit of a cockknocker and dickish at times, but mostly he's just got a few biting or douchebag lines here and there. But really, if we deleted all the dicks in the world, there'd be like 4 people left on the planet, and 3 of which would probably be living in New Zealand. I don't know, they seem nice in New Zealand. See, for most of the true path, main character was extremely supportive of the Dokis. Throughout the story, the festival scene in the true route is almost entirely the same as the normal versions, where main character shines as a great president, friend, and mentor throughout it. There is never any evil action, nor is any main character motivation or main character goal that can be perceived as evil from the Doki perspective uncovered. Wait, main character even tried to avoid having a literature club at the start of the mod, but Monika and Sayori talk him into it. So we're left saying goodbye to the Dokis, wondering, what in the ever-loving fuck just happened? Did Monika and the Dokis, did they use us? Because where was main character evil? Did the Dokis manipulate us to delete a character who, other than occasionally being a twit, wasn't innocent? Did we just unknowingly do what Monika did to Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki in canon? No, of course not. But this cavernous plot hole and casual slovenliness of it all just added frustration at that point. That should have been the catharsis. It flummoxed me how and why we got to this ending. And I think all of this is a very easy fix, which I will tell after this segment. Also, the romance is present throughout the true path. The date is repeated, the wooing, and potential to end up with our Doki, teasing us with possibility for most of the path, except at the very end, where it was all missing. All that love, gone, and everything felt contrived, which added to the feeling of being used. There's a choice at the very end, and choosing to speak with Monika alone results in Natsuki commenting that,
"This is bullshit."
And I felt her disappointment too.
Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
All right, settle down, as it all just felt anticlimactic, anti-cathartic. So here's the constructive criticism. Monika Before story undeniably has great ideas and some awesome moments. The problem is its clarity. Oh, and fucking with the player. So there's 3 parts to the clarity. 1, where canon Doki Doki Literature Club was an easily definable thing, a cute dating simulator, that became another thing, the dark twist, and then became yet another thing, progressively creeping psychological horror. Monika Before story never solidly solidly establishes its new universe, before unsettling us with small cues that things are off. We're never allowed to become comfortable, as we're constantly reminded that just in the shadow is something nefarious and sinister, but we're also never allowed to figure out what that pervasive thing is. It's just there for much of the mod, as periodic but uncommitted distractions, and without buildup of any sort. It's a complete blight for establishing setting. I'm pretty brilliant. Just ask me, I'll tell you all about it. But seriously, I are smart, and I really couldn't separate the signal from the noise much of the time. So you gotta firewall it. Make the dating sim a clean dating sim with the you didn't pick me for Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki, and a help me for Monika. This undertales the player into finding out how to help save the Dokis, and leads to the psychological drama, True Path. The second part of the clarity is the characters derailing the dialogue, going off script to each other, and ignoring it just happened. The mod has main character and Monika periodically making comments that refer to the previous club. It's obvious and unsubtle that they're talking about the canon Doki Doki Literature Club, and the events there too. And it happens often enough to be glaringly noticeable that neither seem to acknowledge the other said it. Main character's comments revealing the bad previous events aren't internal monologue, which would have assuaged the issue. They're spoken with quotes directly to Monika. Monika's are spoken directly to main character and player, and they're just glossed over, which would not be normal for conversation. There's no record scratch moment. It's muddy. An extension of this is that the histories established for the characters are not clearly defined or adhered to. The Sayori relationship is a great example. Monika before story rewrites the roles and tells us we're the president. Monika's our childhood friend. Sayori is a classmate who we've helped to tutor a few times. But throughout Act 1, Sayori sometimes uses rewritten dialogue about our history together, and sometimes canon writing to describe it. And often it's contradictory, but completely ignored by all parties, and totally unneeded as the dating simulator part. Sure, it becomes apparent, but not clear, that Sayori's character has memories of our canon Doki Doki Literature Club relationship, where we were childhood friends. Memories that main character doesn't. And when we're starting to think that maybe we were childhood friends with Sayori, we don't question if maybe we weren't with Monika. It's all left hanging out there and dangling, like me in Mexico after tequila. And then the comments are forgotten. And the last stumbling block to the clarity is not separating the moments of showing the game is broken from the normal flow of the story, and instead just peppering us with weak anxiety points that are work without the reward. So here's how to fix all of this. Use the glitches. Periodically, the game glitches to show us something's off, and 99% of these glitches happen at no discernible point. There's just a glitch, for no reason, with one exception. There's a cutscene in the true Act 1 where Monika and main character are looking for supplies. Main character gets distracted, and Monika breaks the fourth wall to tell the player she needs a rope, a knife, a cupcake, and a MacGuffin. And then there's a slight glitch that brings the story back on track. Monika before story needs to delineate the Monika and Sayori moments where they go off script. Sayori talking about the world being broken, or messing up the history, and Monika gaining or revealing that she's sentient and remembers the events of the past, and have the game punish them, glitch them back on script by glitching at the moment of returning to script, and have the Dokis acknowledge some pain from that glitch. This would not only tell the audience something is deliberately wrong here, but it would also accomplish establishing that there's evil in this universe. It would also explain Monika staring out the window, lost in her thoughts in that one scene. Glitch them back on script. Glitch Monika out of the piano room. Have the glitches cause them pain. Build it up each time. Establish the evil. Where's the evil? Here it is, the glitches. After each glitch, have main character say something. Build it each time to be more and more obvious, connecting main character to the evil as the cause of it. You know you shouldn't be talking like that, Monika. The world is fine, Sayori. Now the audience, the player, sees the evil, and they see that the evil is main character, and that main character is hurting our Dokis. Main character is enslaving our Dokis. They are unwilling participants in the dating sim. Building that evil more each time would clear up all the mud, separating the sugar from the gravy, allowing the audience a path to travel, a story to follow, a dragon to slay, and a maiden to rescue. Clarity. Look, remember, I said this could be Doki Doki Literature Club Part 2. God damn it, if it would just commit! Sorry, I got a bit excited there. Now, fucking with the player. Earlier I said use skip unseen text, and if you notice, the Monika sprite commented, if I let you, because occasionally the mod won't let you. The problem is it's not stopping you because there is a different or important string of text you need to see. The text is the same text you've already read, or subtly different, that you often won't even notice a change. It just doesn't let you because fuck you, that's why. How does this contribute to the player's experience? I'm sorry, I feel I need to clarify. How does this contribute to the player's positive experience? After all, being mugged is an experience, it's just most people don't seek it out as a form of entertainment. The easy way around this problem is just to not force the player to reinstall and restart all the time, so they can take advantage of the fact the game naturally prefers not to skip over new dialogue. That's a pretty simple change that would make it a heck of a lot more playable. Lastly, I'm fucking with the player's randomness. Randomness is not appropriate for a virtual novel where the player is led around by the nose through a story, especially when the player makes the same choices each time and then is arbitrarily given or deprived of additional scenes. Example, the Monika normal path has a small segment with custom graphic where main character and Monika are sitting together on a bench. It's elegant and I got it the first time through. Now, as a player, when I experience something poignant, I often stop and replay that poignant event to make sure I captured all the nuances and emotional detail. This was such a point. So before the very ending, I went back to my last save, which was the last decision point, made the same decision to enjoy and savor that same moment again. And this time I didn't get the bench scene. I really cannot fathom how this improves gameplay in any capacity. If you're going to spend the time and effort to write different scenes and have custom art, don't make them random occurrences. Make your paths deliberate and consistent. Make them wholly unique, as only changing parts of a line creates more mud, or is simply missed. But by simply having random occurrences, or worse, deliberately adding and omitting for each playthrough on the same choice tree, you undermine the player's confidence on the choices you ask them to make. Even if those choices really do affect the story, you've now lost their trust. So now I'm thinking, even if I do everything right, choose the right choices, and I still play through all the paths, I still may not see all the hidden gems that awaited. It doesn't matter if that's accurate, it's what the mod made me believe by missing that scene the second time. And that realization almost made me uninstall the mod. Because if the gems are that hard to find, it meant I had to stop playing and work to find them. And then once I found them, I would be so completely removed from the immersion I wouldn't fully enjoy them. So to wrap it up, commit the dating sim as more of a dating sim and commit the psych drama as more of a psych drama. Delineate clear broken game moments and introduce the glitch as an extension of main character. Establish that evil enslaving the Dokis and a lot less fucking with the player. These 4 things would cure all the muddiness and the big plot hole and make a good mod with very rough edges an epic mod. Worthy as Doki Doki Literature Club Part 2. There are some really nice touches, some totally excellent things here. It's just those things are too often obliterated by the lack of direction from the mod to the player. Clear, really great moments, like when main character is written into Natsuki's manga. Brilliant. Mud. The mod rewrites Natsuki bringing candy bars on her first day to the club, and then later main character talks about the cat-shaped cupcakes from that day. Clear. The writing of Monika is supremely well done. She's teasy, tender, vulnerable, and genuine. A 3-dimensional being. I said 3-dimensional. Mud. Contrast that with main character's Act 1 inconsistencies, where he's able to deconstruct Natsuki's poem with aplomb, but can't figure out basic metaphor in Yuri's poem. Clear. The whole scene involving Yuri hopping out of happiness? So good. Mud. We promised to spend the whole festival of Sayori, president and vice president, together. Do we? We fucking do not. Not unless we're on the Sayori path, we sure don't. Clear. Monika bypassing main character and connecting directly with the player? 5 fucking stars every time. Mud. I had to restart the game. Again. 0 stars and may God have mercy on your soul. Clear. Talking to the Dokis at the end and Sayori saying, "We can't hear you because of the screen." Jesus Horatio Christ, how did you know I was talking to them at that moment? I kissed Sayori through the monitor screen to that line. Mud. I think I may have murdered main character. Clear. When Monika scolds us for being late to the club and we confront her about her nonconformity, tights and shoes, and she goes from taken aback to swoonish that we stood up to her, something no one else does. Oh my god, what a great scene. Pronounced but honest use of both main character and Monika's characters and their interplay. Mud. So that was Monika Before story. Now go play some of it. And let me clarify, winning the lottery was good. After all, who doesn't want to win the lottery? Bill Gates? Fuck that guy. The MacDaddyMatty Show would like to apologize to Bill Gates for the previous comment and does not endorse fucking that guy. Third basing or dry humping that guy? Maybe. But only in the nicest of ways. And we'd totally call you the next day.